Look at that. It's 2:30, folks.
I wasn't late.
And you weren't late, yes. It was 2:30. This is Microsoft Ignite. We're here in San Francisco. And all of you are here in the room to learn about how to get the most out of the event known as Microsoft Ignite. There are a few seats in this particular room at the front. If there's people at the back that are standing that'd like to join us. My name's Claus. I'm joined by my good friend.
Hi, I'm Sonia Cuff.
We've got some surprises for you. 60 minutes of action-packed information. And as I mentioned, this is being streamed out online as a test, also for people that couldn't make it into the room to try things out, as well as other areas of the venue. So just as a little introduction, my name's Claus. I've been at Microsoft 21 odd years, involved with Microsoft Ignite since the first one in Chicago 2015, as well as multiple other technical events from before that. What was your first one, out of curiosity? Do you remember what year?
That's a good question. Look, my background is Microsoft Tech Heads in Auckland, New Zealand. So you may detect a little bit of an accent, but I've been with Microsoft for 7 years now. But look, I've been around Microsoft since we rolled out Windows NT 351 and Windows for Workgroups in the enterprise. So.
Nice. We thought we'd start this one off with a little bit of a bang, so hopefully we got everything lined up with some embedded video. This will give you your fastest 2-minute fly-through of all the facilities, all the things you can experience, and if you need to, you can leave after this 2-minute video. Trick is, did they leave my mic up? They did, perfect. This is the hub. We've got some very cool things and experiences that you'll be able to see, known as Moscone North and South. You don't have access to it today, but you will after the keynote tomorrow on Tuesday. Photo opportunities galore if you want to. Get some memories. These things called neighborhoods, which are the top-level topics of Microsoft Ignite for content across the board. All sorts of experiences you can do, including talking to your favorite MVP community members, engineering team members, and more. We talk about all this later on in the session. Just some cool video rendering. I'm missing the glow sticks and like whistles and CO2 cannons going off. But there's these things called showcase experiences you can take a look at as well. This is what it looks like for a theater. We'll show you what theaters look like coming up and why you'd want to prioritize those. Of course, we can't do anything with Microsoft Ignite without the help of our phenomenal sponsors and partners who are here to talk with you as well. And we also look at Microsoft Ignite content through the lenses of different industries as well. But we have community sections as well. Cool maps is even a race car simulator that I have not tried yet. There is rumors that there is a 6-by-8-foot large Lego data center down there as well. So we'll find out where it's at. So hang in there and try that one out. And if you are a partner, working for a partner, we have a whole section of the hub dedicated towards partner-to-partner conversations, or Microsoft-to-partner conversations as well. So don't forget to check that out. But we got all the details in here. That was just our sizzle video to get you all started. Because
I haven't seen it yet.
You hadn't seen the whole thing? So basically, what are we here for? We're here to give you your overall overview, how to get the most out of this particular event, giving you the inside scoop and quick access to things that are there. Plus, Sonia and I have gone through with some of the tooling that you're going to be using on the Microsoft Ignite.microsoft.com website that you can use, and also some pro tips, because we've been to a few conferences, I'm assuming most of you have as well, on how we survive dealing with talking to 17,000 of your closest friends and networking and small talking with everybody too. But we thought, what better way to explain what Microsoft is than to be able to ask the executive producer of the event to come and join us on stage and put her on the spot to present and deliver some stuff. And so we have Libby Opsall joining us as well. Hey Libby, how you doing? You get that center stage.
Okay, all right. Hi everyone, my name is Libby Opsall. So I'm the executive producer of Microsoft Ignite, so I sit on our global events team. And we have a team of, I don't know, there's probably about 3,000 crew that are here this week that are putting this event on for all of you. So we're just really excited to have 17 to maybe 20,000 of you that are going to be here with us this week. As many of you know, Ignite is our premier flagship event. This is really our opportunity for Microsoft as a company, not only to make news and announcements, but also to provide technical skilling opportunities, partner business conversations, lots of networking and in-person opportunities, obviously, opportunities for you to get your hands on a lot of our products and be able to talk to those experts and MVPs and so forth. And then, of course, not to forget about our digital audience as well, who's going to be participating along at home or wherever they might be. And we have over 200,000 people who have registered for that as well. That'll be dipping in and out of our sessions.
So multiple hundreds of thousands of people throughout the week.
Yes, so when we continue to grow. So as a reminder what the week looks like. So today is our badge pickup primarily, also pre-day sessions as you're all here right now.
I was about to say, I think they all have their badge because they got past security to get upstairs.
Thank you for getting your badge today and not waiting for tomorrow right before the keynote. So we really appreciate that. We have a few other activities happening today, some sponsorship briefings and things like that. Our awards dinner reception is tonight as well. Then once we get into tomorrow is going to be a really exciting day, and we're super excited to show you a keynote like we have not done in a very, very long time. We'll be over at Chase Arena. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But really, we kick off the morning. We'll have a full day of keynotes, sessions, labs. Our hub will be online, so please go and visit the hub Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then once we get to Friday, that's just the half day. Our campus does shrink a little bit more. Basically, all the activities that are happening on Friday are happening over here in West Building. The hub will not be open, but there still are plenty of opportunities to meet with each other, attend some breakouts and labs before many will be traveling off in the afternoon.
Right, so I'm just going to call out just to make absolutely clear, all of you that are physically in the premises here or will be coming to San Francisco, a part of the in-person experience, digital experience-wise, you're only going to have access to all this content after the events, as well as live during Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. And so all the content you're going to be seeing that's breakout in format will be recorded, Keynote will be recorded, you'll be able to see it after the fact. But digital-wise, your primary things are going to be going on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Did I get the right points?
Yep.
Got it. Excellent. Good. Oh, and there's also one other thing, a cool interstitials, interviews, other conversations going on in between the sessions if you're watching the digital experience. So all of you in-person people as well, you could tune in on your phone if you wanted to and watch some of those interstitials in the future. Now, here's the campus. I want you to explain this because it's not just this one building.
Yeah, so we're now, for those of you that were with us in Chicago last year, or maybe even Seattle the year before, you're used to us being in a convention center, everything pretty much under one roof. As you can see this year, we are now that we're growing, our campus also grows with us. So that is why we are specifically calling this a campus, because we are spread across 3 sort of larger buildings that are in this Moscone area. So where we're at right now, which is west, so you will find mostly sessions and labs are going on over here, as well as some fun stuff out in our atriums and things like that. Then if you head across the street, you'll see that Howard Street is actually closed to traffic and the general public. You'll go through some security screening there to get in and out. But once you get through there, that's all safe and secure for our Microsoft Ignite attendees. The hub entrance is there on both north and south side. You can go in and you'll be able to go down to our hub, which is in that expo level underground. Also over in Moscone North-South, we do have some labs over there. We also have sort of our ad hoc meeting space, which is those reservable networking tables or meeting tables. You can book those online, or you can also walk up in person and ask for a spot. So those are not private. They're sort of smaller meeting spaces for maybe 2 to 8 people max or so. That's also available over in South. Then otherwise, if you walk across up the street here to the Marriott, that's where our executive meeting program is going on. That's also where our signature class lounges for our sort of senior level BDMs. And so that's mostly sort of an executive focused building, but there is a set of sessions over there which are new this year, which I think you're going to talk about.
We cover those.
Okay. So we'll get to those later. But this is sort of the main campus. And then I want to dig a little bit deeper into Chase, which, as you can see on the lower side here, and now it's bigger. So Moscone is about, I want to say it's maybe a 10, 15-minute Uber ride, or maybe a 20 or 30-minute shuttle ride, depending on where you're coming from here out to Chase. And so we're only at Chase tomorrow, just for that opening keynote in the morning, and then the partner keynote takes place there as well. So we'll talk about that more in a few minutes, but just wanted you to orient yourself in terms of thinking about when you need to transport yourself there tomorrow morning, allowing enough time and that sort of thing. So,
and we'll call out that there is transportation from hotels to Chase or from hotels to Moscone. Those happen on a regular schedule, so you can use that, and I recommend you use that as far as being able to get back and forth.
Yep.
Now, you mentioned we're going to talk about Keynote in just a bit, but I'd love it if Sonia helped me put this one together, which is kind of looking at overall, what are all the different types of experiences and content that's there? Yeah. Very high level, because we go into more depth on all of these. What do you think?
We will. Okay. So mainly what you need to start looking at first of all is what is the type of experience that you're going to be engaging with? Because we have this mix where some of this content is both in person and available streamed. Some of the activities here you're only able to do in person, and then we have some pre-recorded content that will only be on the digital experience. So when you're going through having a look at your content and your session schedule and you're deciding what to do, you'll be able to filter on those things and decide whether or not it's going to require you to be there in person, whether or not you're viewing it online, whether you have the opportunity to do both. And I think that both is key, because sometimes it's really nice that you might think you're going to attend something in person, something happens, we'll talk about that a bit later, about how you manage your time and your energy, and you might go, actually that one I can catch the recording of.
Right. Now, we've kept Libby prisoner between us because she's the one that actually has information about Keynote, because we don't. We're just regular speaker types at Microsoft. So we've asked you to give us a little bit of an explanation of why are we going down to Chase Center? What's the reason behind this? Well, you don't have to say that, but whatever. But what is the Keynote, and when is the Keynote, and what can people expect as far as experience is concerned?
Yes. So get ready bright and early tomorrow morning, because buses are going to start as early as 6 a.m.
But wait.
I'm not telling you to go at 6 a.m., but
6
if you want that front row seat, doors won't open until 7:15 though. So you would get there by 6:30, and you would be standing outside for a little bit. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But we know we do have a lot of diehard fans that love to get there early. So just making that warning. I did want to mention, because there was a little bit of confusion, because we did at one point when we first launched registration, there was a Keynote seating add-on pass that folks did opt into and we sold out of. That is specifically for priority seating. So those folks are going to get kind of reserved seating there. The Keynote is open to everyone to attend. Your badge will get you in no matter what badge, other than I believe the Expo only is the one that doesn't get you access to there. But just wanted to make it super clear that everybody make sure, please do show up. We do not have an alternate viewing location here on campus. So the Keynote is the spot. You've got to go to Chase.
I'm not seeing my email that says I've got priority Keynote.
Sorry, Rick. Sorry. Come see me later.
Okay.
I'll find you a spot. So I just wanted to put that out there. So bright and early, we'll get going. Keynotes actually don't start until 9. There will be breakfast and coffee there, so there is stuff available. That is the one day we do have. It will be available there. Other than that, I did want to just talk a little bit about logistics and the fact that, so we do have the opening keynote in the morning first at 9. There will be a break of about 45 minutes in between the opening and the partner keynote. So those that are there to really get into those partner-to-partner conversations that are building and selling with Microsoft, there will be that additional keynote. And then for those that want to get back here and really start diving into your technical skilling and things, shuttles will start running back, and you can grab lunch back here. There'll be lunch also available over there for the partner audience that decides to stay. So
now, this is the largest in-person Microsoft event has done in years. And so this is a big deal for having everybody in one spot, right?
Yes.
So I want to share this rendering of what it looks like.
Yeah, so this slide barely does it justice, but Chase Center is an arena. It's where the Warriors play. I mean, it's a really big, beautiful, newer arena, and we get to take it over, and we have been there for over a week now. This does not quite get it, but when you're there tomorrow, you'll see we actually have set up the stage in the round, which is awesome. So it will be, our presenters will be right down there in the middle. Every seat in the house will be able to see down there. Plus, we have more LED than you probably ever could imagine existed. I think they told us—
LED screens. This isn't just RGB to be able to make it look good and go fast.
No, I was told, I think it's, if you line up the tiles, it's 5.5 miles long of, LED, that Chase Center has never seen this much brought in before.
Wow.
So So we're really exciting. It's going to be really beautiful, and all seats in the house are going to be amazing. I think we have 40-something speakers across the 2 keynotes, so it's going to be rapid fire. A lot of demo stages are down there as well, so several different angles. And then we're optimizing, of course, for our digital audience. So lots of cameras so that everybody at home can also feel like they're really a part of everything that's going on.
Awesome. And so lots of different seating opportunities in there. You mentioned the elevated seating for the Express Pass or whatever it was called. You call it
the Keynote Pass. Yep.
The thing that I don't have.
Yes.
But then also, if you're part of different programs, if you're part of different communities, stuff like that, just talk to your contacts. But for the most part, it's going to be great viewing no matter where you sit inside this one place.
Yeah.
And there's coffee and some kind of food of some kind to feed you. That's all good.
Yes.
The rest of us are going to be back here. The Microsofties are going to be back here because we have to get ready for all of you to come back after that particular keynote experience. But unless you want to stay and go through the next 123 slides, you're welcome to join us if you want.
I think I know the rest of this. So yeah.
I think before Libby goes, we just need to ask her. If there's one thing that you would like to either tell our attendees or one thing you are hoping that they will get out of the event, what would that be?
One thing I hope you got out of the event. Well, I mean, I would absolutely say that you at least come away with a new contact, a new friend, someone that you have met in person, which is something you could not do if you were at home, obviously.
Yep.
But I will just make a couple of recommendations about the week. I mean, one of which is allowing yourself enough time to get around, because like I said, I can't emphasize enough how big this campus is and how long it'll take you not only just to get from building to building, but once you're in the building, to find that room. Highly recommend inside of our, on the website, we have our mobile app. What is it, the PWA?
We talk about that, yes.
We will, okay. And inside that, there's an event guide. And within the event guide, you can find everything from meals, what we're serving every day, if you want to check out what lunch is before you get there. And really important thing I forgot to mention earlier, all 3 buildings will have lunch served in them. So whatever building you're in for your sessions before or after lunch, you can get food there. I'm going to do a little poll to find out which one has the best lunch for people that are, making their way around to all of them. But use that event guide. It also gives you interactive maps where you can map out your walking distance, walking time, that sort of thing. Like, plan your day.
You're literally taking all of our content.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
We
well,
early.
It's good.
It's all my personal opinion, right?
Good.
So, yeah, but no, just enjoy your time here, and of course, give us feedback. We love to hear anything.
I was going to say that's definitely something we should say, as you'll learn at the end of this too.
100%.
Your feedback is read by everyone. Every single line of verbatim that you give about the event or about the sessions or about the experiences, it ends up in a report that Libby reads. And she literally reads multiple hundreds of pages of these. So
and this year, I'm going to use Copilot to
got
help
it.
me.
Summarize it. I love it.
I know.
So yeah, feedback is very, very important.
Yes.
And you'll hear about that every single time you have a session. You'll hear about that at the end of the session too. But hey, you're probably being paged by like 5 or 6 different meetings because you're a little busy today.
A few things I got to do, but yes, thank you for
so
having
much
me.
for coming.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
you.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you so
Sonia.
much.
Okay,
And
all right.
everybody, Libby, executive producer of Breakout tonight. Okay, so she's already covered 3/4 of the slides in that fast time.
I hope you
but
can sing.
I do want to do a call out, specifically a shout out, again, digital audience that are watching potentially, the broadcasts, the concept of the in-betweens, the interviews, the in-depth discussions that happen with different partners, with executives, with engineering leads, and that sort of stuff. Throughout the day, they're taking place on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. About 3.5, 4-ish kind of hours worth of content that happens. That's exclusively online. So even if you're in person, you can watch it on the website or on your mobile app as well. Check out those broadcasts because it's definitely good stuff that's in there.
Absolutely.
But the meat of what people do when they're at a conference is next. Breakouts.
Breakout session.
Do you want to take this one?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I put a little summary slide in front of this for everybody. Good points.
Okay, so what our audience is here for, right? Live speakers, live demos. We have this thing about should it be a live demo or not in our world. Sometimes we record them and speed them up so that you don't have to wait for things to go and deploy. About 45 minutes for our breakout sessions. That includes time for questions and answers. So we don't have time after the 45 minutes to take questions. We've got a pretty quick room changeover time to get the next session in. So just remember that. Usually your speaker will turn around and say, follow me outside, meet me in the hub, and you can carry on the conversations there. There is a level number on the session content in your catalog, so you'll be able to see the technical depth of the talk and set your expectations in terms of what you're going to be hearing. And yeah, they're definitely there to get some insights into how to use the products and services, especially with some great real world scenarios, and to learn more from those experts. The breakouts are streamed to that digital platform as well, as we said, the Tuesday to Thursday sessions, and also recorded for on demand, so you can come back later if you were trying to remember what you heard, or if you literally haven't had time to catch up with all the great content you were hoping to see. Yeah, so after today, you'll probably be going to the session catalog, finding and building out your schedule throughout the week. Make note of the speakers, the people that are inside those sessions. You can find out when they're working and going to be staffing the booths to ask more questions after their sessions as well. And I encourage you to go off and definitely connect up with them after the fact. Also on the session details page, when you're looking at that here in person, you're going to be looking at the screen in the room. But digitally, you'll be seeing this through a player experience. Top right-hand corner in every single session has additional resources, additional things you can do, demos you can try, like all sorts of resources are there on the web page for you to be able to go off and look at that. And you don't have to worry about taking pictures of the slides in the screen, because most slides are available for download from that session details page. So that's part of the tooling that's there. And for those that are in the room in 3006 here, this is what a breakout room looks like. This is a small room. Here's a video rendering, or a picture rendering of what one looks like that's there. You've got the elevated stage, multiple speakers. Here we are. We potentially, I haven't even noticed. Oh, we do have sign language. That's awesome. Nice to see you, my friend. And then also, obviously, nice, bright, beautiful 4K screen that hopefully everyone that's delivering a session will have optimized their delivery of the session to work the best off of that screen and being captured. And like we mentioned, it is being recorded for posterior's sake. There are larger rooms that range in size. We dynamically look at who's putting what sessions into their calendar to know which ones are of more interest potentially, and therefore need to have rooms shuffled around. So it's always good for you to check before going to your next session to make sure that the room hasn't changed, because we do update that site periodically and adjust as appropriate. This was the only room they had available to us, so that's why we're all kind of crammed in one with some overflow for what's there. Now, one more thing I will mention is, and Libby briefly mentioned this, there's this special experience that's taking place over in the Marriott Marquis if you go down to where the rooms are down there. We call this the silent disco, but really it's simply you have headsets on, because there are no solid walls between the room that we made. Why did we do that?
We did. So not because we wanted people to just kind of jam out and have some fun in the room and go do a rave. It's actually because it allowed us to add an additional 80+ sessions of content to the event by taking this one big room and splitting it into 4. So
we've got 4 different talks going on in the same
4
space.
different talks simultaneously, so the bleed over of the noise of the speakers would make it impossible to hear. That's why we have the headphones. Don't worry, they're sanitized in between each setting. You simply pick them up off of the seats, they're sanitized, put them on, you're already tuned up and ready to go. The speaker at the front is all set to deliver. Deliver the content. At the end of the content, you hand them back to the person on the way out the door. They sanitize them and put them back on the chairs for you. So I've delivered this way a number of times. It's actually pretty cool. It's a little strange being up on stage and then not having have people listening to you and not having your voice broadcast, but you get used to it. And still, if they ask a joke or ask you to be interactive and raise your hands, please laugh. Put your hand up, applaud. So that way the speaker knows that they're talking to the proper room and they haven't crossed the wires for what's there. Because that would be awkward. So this is the above head view look of what this looks like. So basically, yeah, we turned one room into 4 to be able to get more content available to you.
Love it.
Awesome stuff. Now, labs is another interesting thing. I'll take this one.
Sure.
From a lab perspective, this is your interactive content. In the session scheduler, when you find a lab designated, there's an RSVP button. If the RSVP button is available, grab it, click it, make it work, because there is limited seating, and it is reserved because there's only 120 odd seats per lab room. And then you do your best to show up on time to deliver or to take that lab. They're instructor-led. We provide the hardware, dual screens. There is a bit of an orientation. Everyone delivers the lab a little bit differently, but basically they talk you through the lab, what's going to be covered, and then you have the step-by-step instructions and proctors that help you get through the lab during the time structure, 75 minutes. And they're there to also answer questions as well.
I love that so much. You can like race ahead a couple of steps at your own speed if you want, or you can, if you get stuck on something or you want to ask a question, yeah, you've got people in the room to help you.
Yeah, so these are in-person only, not available online. Prioritize these if that's what you want to have some more hands-on experience for, over top of a breakout, which is recorded, and you can see after the fact if you come up with a conflict. That's one of the things you can use. What it kind of looks like, again, a little bit of an overview for rendering. You'll see some of them up here. Again, as Libby mentioned, the majority of the breakout content and lab content is in this building on levels 2 and levels 3, where we are today.
Moscone West.
You got it, Moscone West. And again, labs, there is one more other area. There's a special room that's, I call the unstructured lab room, where basically there is no reservable time slot. You just show up, and if there's an available space, you have access to all the labs, and as long as you don't need to have a proctor there to help you, you can go through in your own time and bang through some labs. And if you're not able to RSVP and it's already full, go anyway if it's that important, because there is a queue outside that we open up for available seats if people don't show. And we do that about 10 minutes before, or maybe 5 minutes before the lab actually starts. And so there's still a chance you'll be able to get in on those very popular labs. And we do run repeats of the labs as well. So check it out. How about theater sessions?
You talked about splitting one room into 4 to get more content, right? And so theatre sessions are another way not only to be able to get more content in, right? To hear other examples and to hear from other people, including our community and our partners and our sponsors, but they're down in the hub, so, and all around some of the other locations as well. So the great part about those is you can just walk past one and see it catch your eye and go, hey, what is this all about? You don't necessarily need to add it to your schedule. And so you can just rock up and listen. The great thing is that they are very open and visible, so they're not closed behind doors like the breakouts are, and you like don't know what's going on in that random room. So yeah, our theatre sessions, because of that setting, that scenario of where the theatres are located, they aren't going to be recorded. We can't get great audio quality in that kind of a very open space. So they really are perfect for people who are here in person to go and attend. And yeah, rock up and see on the signage in front of any particular theatre what's coming up next.
Yeah. So a neat thing about these as well is, you mentioned audio. They're engineered so that the audio is optimal for if you're sitting in the seat. There's literally speakers underneath the seats so that it's all contained in there. But as soon as you step away from the seats and you're inside the hallways and stuff like that, you basically can't hear because they've done stuff to make it so that it works. So very, very cool. Again, a rendering. They range in size. The big change, if you've been here before, in the past they were only like 10, 15 minutes long max. Now they are 25 minutes from start to finish, starting on schedule, and they only have a 5-minute buffer in between the sessions. So you kind of got to clear out of there after the session is done. And as you mentioned, I think there's A, B, C, D, E, F, there's F. 5. There's 5, maybe 6 different theater sessions that are out there for locations, and they range in size from 100 seats to 300 seats.
Wow.
So there's even big this year as far as what's there. Really cool stuff that is happening inside the theaters. One thing that's interesting as well from a modality, you've now had breakouts in theaters and labs and hands-on experiences. What about putting yourself to the test? Because with every single registration that you have the option of taking a certification exam. You can book a full, for free, certification exam, either GitHub or Microsoft certified exam that regularly is like $150 a piece. You get one of them, you can book it and you can register it and you can take it here inside of our exam location. I think we already had over 700 different people booked exams so far, and our target is north of the 1,500 to 2,000 range. So if you're interested, it's free, it's a benefit. You can even go and have some study materials beforehand in different areas, but certifications is something you should check out. There's 2 areas. One is called the Certifications Playground, which is here on the 3rd floor. It's third floor, just right out in the hallway, where you'll be able to go off and experience some cool new learning capabilities and tools and resources available to you. You remember the URL? I forget the URL. I'll have to come back with the URL.
Are we allowed to talk about the URL?
I think we never, we never got authorization to talk about the URL. Go take a look at the event venue. You'll find out the URL at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to go off and try some stuff yourself. But very, very cool stuff that's in there. And then also inside of the community area of the hub is another section for skilling. And if you happen to pass an exam or a skills assessment or a GitHub exam, they will celebrate you quite well. The swag that they have, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They're giving away Frisbees that says, "You spin me right round, baby, right round." So yeah, it's cool. They come in different colors, but you have to prove that you've passed something in the last month, or you've done it here on site, and it could be a skills assessment, or it could be an actual full-fledged certification.
These are a great way, no risk, no money down, of testing where your skills are at if you're thinking about doing an exam, and see how well you go. And you could possibly even surprise yourself and pass it, and then you've got that certification on your skills.
Absolutely. Good stuff that's happening, lots of fun. How about tooling? Because we mentioned it briefly. What we're going to be doing about tooling. So everything you need is on your mobile phone or on your PC or laptop or Mac or whatever. It is at ignite.microsoft.com. And the important part is, top right-hand corner, you're logged in. You have to be logged in. During the event day, this is also where the broadcast live stream will be, among other locations. But if you're logged in, you have access to what's known as My Event. And you can see here that I actually have my profile filled out. I have turned on the option that I will allow people to connect up with me at the event, and that I'm sharing my schedule at the event, and that I'm able to receive meeting requests at the event, because we all need more meetings, right? But yeah, that's all turned on and ready to go, and I'm signed in here on my desktop. Now, how do you get to 100%? I'm missing one field because I don't want to share my GitHub login profile, I think.
So, as you mentioned, you do have to go into your profile and opt in if you want to be able to receive messages from other attendees, our partners, etc., via this tooling. It is great if you meet somebody and you don't necessarily want to connect up yet or exchange other forms of able to be contacted, or if you've got a random name and you just want to ping somebody a quick question. So we do have a messaging feature inside the app if you have opted to turn that on to be discoverable to other attendees. So
both Rory and Juan have opted in, and that's why I've left them on my demo slide here, because I do have a conversation going with both of them, and also a meeting scheduled with them as well.
Yeah, so about...
Pardon me? Okay, the question was for those online, is the broadcast, when it's live, can you see it even if you're going to be here in person? Absolutely. Sometimes I'm actually an introverted person. I don't want to be around people at certain times. I want to be off on the corner to recharge. I will catch a breakout session or catch basically a breakout session. I can put on some headphones with my laptop and I can watch the stream and be able to choose to watch any of the live sessions as well. Yes, absolutely.
That's actually a pretty good tip if you've got a session scheduler that's in a different building and then you've got to come back again to maybe grab that one on your phone.
Very true. Now with messages as well, we mentioned the meetings. That's also another option. I actually have a meeting. Did you? No, this is your meeting.
Yeah, that's my meeting. So again, as Rick said, if you are devastated that you're here at a conference all week and you don't have any meetings on your calendar, or if you've been having conversations with people online and you know that they're here in person as well, you can drop them a meeting request through the tool again if you have opted in to turn that on as well. Now, when you go and request a meeting with somebody, as well as being able to select them from the attendee directory, if they've opted in for that, you can book a bookable meeting room.
Right.
Or you can choose to not use that meeting room and have any location. So you might have decided that you're going to meet up at a particular spot or a coffee shop or whatever. That's totally fine as well. But we do have a space of reservable meeting rooms. They aren't completely private, but they do give you seating for about 2 to 6 people where you can sit down and have a conversation together. And if you haven't used the tool to actually book one of those meeting tables, you can also rock up to that area and just see if there's any available. You get your name on the list and use the next one that is free if there is availability.
And again, I will also once again highlight, this is an opt-in, it's not by default, and your email address and your contact details are not shared back and forth, it's abstracted by proxy. So it's all contained, and then you decide if you want to accept or decline, and if you want to go ahead with the meeting or not. So you don't have to worry about unsolicited people trying to, I don't know, get access to your banking account passwords or whatever it happens to be. Don't worry about that. One thing we wanted to call out in particular about the website, which is new things, and my friends that worked on the tooling for these particular things definitely wanted me to show this. Quick little video to show you that I am logged in. There's this thing called the Discover page. Now, the Discover page is dynamically built for you by our AI engine because you've opted into this. It makes recommendations for what your interests are for some sessions you might want to add to your schedule. But then it also goes in and makes recommendations based on the sessions you already have added that might complement those sessions or that other people have put in and opted to share as well, including trended information and trending sessions as well, just to help you build your schedule. But like any other AI chatbot, you can also ask it a question. How do I book a meeting table, please? And the AI assistant pops up, generates the response, and comes back with, hey, here's how you book a meeting. Look at that. You can ask it questions to say, what sessions is Sonia Cuff delivering this week? And it'll come back with a list of sessions.
Friday,
you can go in and say, I'm looking for questions about how to get my SharePoint Copilot configured correctly. Which session should I go to? And it will make recommendations for that. So play around with it. It's available both in the mobile version and in the in-person version. And I forgot, there is a mobile version of this, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely there is. So what you can do from that URL is you can go and pin it to your home screen and choose to pin it as a web app. So you can have the icon right there to go into it, and it gives you this really nice web app experience where it drops out those browser controls in your address bar, and it gives you the proper full screen experience.
Got it.
As well as giving you a prompt to say, do you want to allow notifications?
Oh, yes.
So we got notifications this morning that badge pickup was open. So those kind of major moments that are happening in the event will pop up as a notification on your phone if you go and pin that URL to your homepage as a web app.
Right, and if your Android device, you can actually just install it from the Android store, but make sure you opt in to updates notifications because it always gets refreshed as things happen. Another thing that Libby pointed to originally was this thing called the event guide. And if you haven't seen this, the event guide is on the main page, again, once you have signed up and you're registered for Microsoft Ignite. When you go into the event guide and you scroll on down, you'll see your pre-event checklist. One of those entries should have been come to Sonia and Rick's Microsoft Ignite 101, but it didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But they have links to all the sort of things that we're talking about now, additional help pages, additional information, it's all good. And as I didn't realize until you mentioned it to me and Libby mentioned it to me, meals and amenities. It'll actually tell you, like Libby mentioned, what meals are being served, where it is, where to pick it up, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, not just what meals, but what is for lunch at each of the buildings.
Yes.
So you can have your choose of where the best food is.
You got it. And then we didn't have a chance to show you this, but under Maps and Transportation, that map that we showed you earlier with the overall campus is available as part of a dynamic web app that you have as part of this application. And it will literally say, I am in room 3006. I want to go see partner data on inside of the expo hall. And it will give you the view of, here's your source, here's your destination, follow the little graphical line, and it will move you down the escalators, across Howard Street, into the lower levels of where the hub is, and directly to booth number 5023, where data on happens to be. So, really, really cool stuff, and it gives you walk times, but I'm suspicious that they are not accurate. We will see. We're going to test. Now, we've been talking about content. How about in-person experiences now? So you're here, you're in the Moscone Center West building. What kind of stuff are we talking about that you can go off and do during Microsoft Ignite? You want to take the hub a little bit?
Look, I think the hub really is the jewel of this event for that in-person experience. It is just an amazing layout and capability of being able to walk around really feel the vibe of the event, but find people that can give you answers to the questions that you've got. So we have Microsoft themed areas with all of our experts in one place. We've got our customers and our partner showcases, so you can go and find people in the same industry as you, or see what other industries are doing. You mentioned the Lego data center. I'm interested to find out how many bricks they used to build that.
They literally have a Lego architect that built this data center for us to make this 6x8 thing, and I'm dying to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and also lots of fun experience as well. Lots of fun things to do down there. I'm interested in finding out where the coffee stands are, but I think we'll get to that as well.
Yeah, so this is basically just a loop right now, just showing you one of the experiences of the neighborhoods. They're broken up by topic level as far as how we're covering topics for Microsoft Ignite. These are the neighborhoods, and then you called out, I'll call it out in the next slide, this thing over here, which is known as the Experts Meetup area. This four-sided kiosk has experts that are there from 9 o'clock on Tuesday straight through till 6 p.m. every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Different people. We don't lock the person there the entire time, but you'll be able to look for the topic that you're looking for more questions on or more interest in to have a discussion after a breakout session per se, and be able to engage with them, talk with them, and other things like that at these particular 4-quadrant sized things.
Yeah, the cool thing about that, especially for our Microsoft booths, is you may rock up there and it's actually a product engineer that you're talking to, or it could be one of our amazing Microsoft MVPs.
Absolutely.
When's your booth, Judy, Rick?
Yeah. Yeah. So, moving on, we have the booth duty literally could be a variety of people, but they're all wearing, we don't have our badges on us because we took them off. Like yours, at the bottom, they have the expert listing or crew listing at the bottom to be able to go off and have those questions answered. Very, very cool, but then on top of that, we also have some other experiences inside the hub. The one I want to call out in particular is what's known as the community area or community touchdown space. This is at a different option. I've got a map coming up next on the next slide, but this is where you'll again have another type of theater session you can go off and attend for in person. You have the ability to kind of highlight where did I fly in from, where do I live kind of thing if you want to do a little social activities that are there. This is where that racing car simulator is that I mentioned on the fly through. I'm still waiting to try that one out. And then also AI for Good and other skilling areas are all kind of in this one area here. Yeah. Those two areas, the community area and the Microsoft Showcase area of the different neighborhoods, are the main place where you're going to find a lot of Microsofties. Yeah. But if you look at this map, that's the two blue sections. All of our amazing sponsors and our amazing partners that complement the Microsoft ecosystem and that are here at Microsoft Ignite to talk to you are also inside this area in the red sections that are on this particular map. And also, as you mentioned, there are some coffee locations that are there. They're not marked on this version of the map. My bad, I apologize. But basically, the middle part of this map is where the road is above you. So you're literally walking underneath the road inside of a 450,000 square foot. We call it the hub. Other places call it the expo area. But basically, it's called the hub because it brings everybody together inside of that one spot.
And that is the key part of being here in person, right?
Yep.
I don't want you to underestimate the power of connecting with our partners and our sponsors. At the end of the day, Microsoft is a company that makes a platform that our customers are going and using and doing the amazing things with. It's not Microsoft that's making the magic here. It's our customers using these tools to make their businesses better. And there is no better way to do that than to engage with our partners and sponsors who understand your industry, who have seen it done really well and maybe not so really well, and have got just invaluable advice on how to use these in real world scenarios. Mm-hmm.
We're kind of done the major orientation of stuff. You've gotten the flow, number of days, you've gotten the session types, which ones you should prioritize. You've gotten the basic lay of the land of the hub, which you can't see until tomorrow after the keynote. Trust me, there's like rolls of carpet and forklifts and scissor lifts. I got run over almost twice this morning filming down there. It's still in construction basically, but it'll be ready for all of us to go down and descend and be there. I tend to spend a lot of time in the expert area and the hub area because I love talking to people while I have energy. In between there, I'll be going back to the breakouts and back to the labs to be able to do different things. So I'll be migrating back and forth amongst stuff. And I will call out one thing we haven't directly said in this particular slide in the top left-hand corner area. Again, Microsoft Ignite is not just for technical practitioner type people like Sonia and myself. It's also for our partners talking to Microsoft and talking to other partners about growing their business. There's a whole section specifically just for the partner-to-partner type conversations and content up in the top left-hand corner. So we have your back and have your content for you as well. So with that, we thought we'd at least share some of our experiences. How the heck am I supposed to survive this? There's so much stuff to do. And so why don't you kick it off with some pro tips for what we can do?
Yeah, now that we've sort of blown everybody's minds about all of the things that you can do this week, start with the end in mind. What are you here for? What do you want to get out of this event? If you've got a couple of things on that list that are top of mind for you, then you can go and seek out the content and the answers to those. So,
I will interject and add to that. When I used to come to these as an attendee before I joined Microsoft, I would have a list of questions coming into the event that I needed to have answered, that I could go back to my team at my company and then make sure I had those answers. And I would make sure that I would go see sessions that could possibly answer them, or I would identify experts that I should connect up to answer those questions and have them checked off that I actually did it. So I had a little bit of a plan for what I want to go off and do.
Yeah, that's right. It's always good to start with a plan. And that plan, you might decide that you're going to fill up your schedule with a bunch of amazing things across the rest of the week. But then maybe it doesn't work out quite like that because you get to the end of the first full day and realize maybe that was a little bit too much. So reevaluate your plan. Maybe you see something that catches your eye and you're going to change your game plan for the next day. Maybe you realized it wasn't the best idea to have a session in the Marriott Marquis and then have one over in Moscone West and then have to come back to the Marriott Marquis again.
That's a lot of steps.
You learn these little tricks when you do these big conferences. And don't overdo it. There is a lot to do. There is some stuff that we've said that you can watch on demand when you get back to the office. We understand that we are giving you a lot of options, but that doesn't mean that you have to do everything. That's totally fine. But most importantly, learn and connect with your peers, because it's not just the expert information that you will hear from our speakers, that you will hear from a theatre, that you will have a conversation with a partner in the hub, but it's about connecting and learning from each other.
Right. And I definitely echo the one that's in the red there, which is reevaluate each morning. Adjust. As they say, like, no battle plan survives as soon as you hit the battlefield. Like, you have to adjust on the fly. Be open to adjust on the fly as well. And that's another tip that I didn't mention. On the mobile web app or on the app, when you have it up and running and you're looking at session content for what's next or what you're going to, they'll have a little traffic light, green, yellow, red. Will tell you how full the room is getting before you make the commitment to go from place to place, to be able to make it someplace. So be aware that we do have live updates, like how full the rooms are by scanning to come into the room to decide if that's something I want to go and really push to be able to get there, or, like you mentioned, catch it on after the fact.
Nice.
So have a plan and make sure you reevaluate.
Definitely. And in addition to that, we also realize that we are all human beings. And sometimes we need some extra assistance or we need a little bit of a break. So we've got some facilities in each of the buildings to be able to help with that.
Right. So we are currently in Moscone West. And so first of all, in case you, again, you're not in the room, you'll be able to see this. We do have sign language assistance for people in all the breakout rooms to be able to go if you need to have that extra level of being able to interact and to see what's going on and to learn. We have the live captions above every single breakout session as well. These are very fast encoded. I don't know if they're like human or AI, but we'll see.
They're human?
They're human on these ones?
Human generation.
Awesome. So I could talk really fast and all of a sudden, moi je peux changer au français si je voulais. And then completely mess up the sign language interpreter as well as the person that's doing the captions.
Yeah,
but
you wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that. That's too mean. But in every building, there is an accessibility and accommodations assistance desk to make sure that you are aware of all the options that we happen to have. We've got reserved seating for people that need to have more space and things like that. So check in with that desk. It's different in each building. And also in this particular place, we also have a wellness lounge.
Nice.
I might go visit that later. Where basically if you're just too whacked out by being around too many people and you need to have a little bit of a break, you can go to the wellness lounge. There's a nice comfy chair there. There's a yoga ball. I don't think I'm going to be doing any Pilates while I'm there, but it's open. Everything is available, including apparently a stationary peddler. I don't know why you want a stationary peddler, because you're going to get probably 25,000 steps in while you're here, but it is available. On the Chase Center for the keynotes, we also have the accessibility and accommodations assistance desk as well, and also potentially devices that might be required for people with needing to have some assistance with auditory and things like that. That's available as well. In the Moscone North and Moscone South, it gets even bigger for what's available. Again, as always, it happens to have the assistance desk. It also has a lactation lounge, and again, quiet pods to be able to just go off and sit down in and be able to chill out in, each of them with different areas. You might have noticed a trend here. They're basically available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday inside of the majority of the areas except for Moscone West, where they're available for some more. Oh, Moscone North, which is not this building, it's again across the ways. There's also a meditation room. There's also dedicated prayer rooms, as well as, again, some more quiet spaces that are there.
Yeah, I love those quiet spaces. This event is a lot of noise and a lot of lights and a lot of people, and sometimes you just need a bit of time out.
So I'm curious, what is your approach for when you build your schedule and how you choose what you put in your schedule if you're looking at an event like Microsoft Ignite? What do you do?
I generally overload it because there's too much to choose from and I can't decide. But then I do adjust it depending on how I'm feeling during the day. So we talked about with the event guide adding the sessions and the conflicts.
Right.
So I can see, sometimes I purposefully double booked my schedule because I can't choose between one or the other, but that does mean that I can come back to it and watch something on demand. And then when I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed during a day, I might go and sit in a theatre and watch some theatre sessions, or just disappear and disconnect for a minute, just to sort of reground myself before I come back into talking to all the people. So
one thing we didn't directly call out is, provided the weather's nice, but again, I live in Seattle, so I'm used to mist and rain 24/7. Provided the weather's nice, Howard Street's going to be a good option to recharge. That's the street that we've closed down. Right now, potentially, you can't have seen it unless you're looking down the street for what's going on down there. There's picnic tables, there's Adirondack chairs, there's probably going to be some cornhole games that way, maybe some tumbler blocks. Like, there's stuff that you'll be able to kind of chill out, again, in the outside space. Hopefully it's not drizzly or too rainy, and be able to take advantage of some of that. And as I mentioned to you earlier, there are times when I'll elect to simply take a breakout session on my phone or on my laptop and just kind of sit someplace away from having to be inside of a room with other folks, just so I can recharge for when I go off and approach what I do. Now, one of the things we've got for you here is a little bit of a challenge, and this is, again, we're externally presenting introvert types ourselves, but our challenge to you, if you're here in person, and even if you're online, try to talk to someone new every day. Like, literally, turn your heads left and look at the person to the left of you, or the back of the head of the person next to you. Go ahead, turn left, look left, that way over there. You know, you haven't met them yet, say hello. My name's Rick, nice to meet you, you know, nice to see you. There we go.
Look, I hate it when speakers do this. I do not want to turn to the person next to me and say anything, okay, unless I'm in public presenting mode. But let me tell you why this is so important, especially in those spaces. If you've walked into a room that it's getting ready for a speaker and somebody's sitting next to you, it's really easy to jump on your phone, to catch up on your emails, to ignore the rest of the world and just be in your own little bubble. But I promise you, the conversations you will have with other attendees will open up connections, will help you solve problems, will give you ideas that you have never even thought of. And so the easiest way for me to do that is by having an icebreaker question. So the icebreaker question is a couple of questions that I have in the back of my mind that I will use to start a conversation with a stranger. And I do this on purpose, and I will say to them something like, why did you choose this session? What are you looking forward to hearing now? Or if I'm in a lunch line, I'll turn around and I'll say, what's been a highlight for you so far? Or what have you learnt that you're going to take back to the office? So start that kind of a conversation, because they'll then turn around and go, well, I work for such and such a company, and I've just come out of this great session about Power Platform, and we're going to try it to maybe solve this problem. That brainstorming of ideas, it really will be inspiring. So that's why I want to connect, not to turn you all into extroverts, but just the sharing of information and knowledge, and what you will learn from each other is, really important.
And then if you wanted to amp it up one extra level, if you have access to LinkedIn and you happen to want to build your professional network, if you're not aware of the LinkedIn mobile app, on the LinkedIn mobile app, if you click on your picture in the top left-hand corner, you are able to bring up a QR code, which the other person can scan with their LinkedIn app or take a picture of, and it will take them to your profile page, and you can make a connection and actually get linked. So
that's my favorite party trick. The amount of people that don't realize we have a QR code inside the LinkedIn mobile app.
So grow your network. Make an effort to try to meet someone new each day, push a little bit of the boundaries, but I love the icebreaker question. But then if you want to connect up after the fact, and again, you don't necessarily want to exchange emails, you can always connect up on LinkedIn and have a conversation there. And don't forget, you also have the option of sitting down with someone at lunch or at the lunch table to say hello, or if you wanted to, you could book a meeting with someone or say, hey, meet me at the NVIDIA coffee lounge for a nice flat white or something like that. And you'll be able to go off and connect up with them with a meeting request, again, with the level of abstraction from having to share your personal contact details. You do it through the event as an option. I've got another slide here that is a bit more about where to go for help if you need to have some help and have some questions. The staff that are involved here at Microsoft, if this is your first time, can be found in a variety of ways. And again, first of all, you all have to have your badge, which I have no idea where my badge is right now, so that's bad.
We're not at day one, and Rick has lost his badge already.
First off, don't lose your badge. It's really important that you have your badge around your neck at all times when you're on the premises or moving between buildings. You will have to go through security to get to these different areas. Once you're past security, still keep it on, keep it there. It's really important to have. Some of the badges have different colors at the bottom. A lot of them are, super secret squirrel stuff, but really the ones you should be paying attention to are the green and the blues, which are the experts and speakers, and then the green ones are the external versions of speakers from our MVP community and from our partner communities as well. Either one of those two probably have a shift that they'll be presenting in the Expo Hall expert area, or at a theater session, or at a breakout session in some way, shape, or form. So keep an eye out for those. Another one is, and I apologize to Libby, who thankfully is not here, but she's probably watching online and making notes for me right now. These are the old hoodies. They're not gray. They're blue. I don't have my blue hoodie. Someone in the room here has got a blue hoodie. You want to stand up in the room? No one can see you anyway except in the room. Basically, all of our speakers and all of our experts have blue hoodies that say Microsoft and then say experts on the side. These are folks that are volunteering their time to help answer your questions and connect up with you at the booths and around. We're friendly, we talk, we're good. Look for the blue hoodie as another one. And then finally, the last one is what we call the purple shirts.
The most important one,
for
sure. So a lot of thanks to our purple shirts. They're the people that you will see around the venues, around the shuttle stops, around your hotel lobbies, that are there to help answer any questions about the event, how to get to where you need to go, what times things are happening. Our purple shirts are just an absolute army of helpers and volunteers out there to make the experience great and to give you somebody to easily find and connect to get your answers about the event itself sorted.
Got it. So we mentioned a couple of the last bonus minute sections, which are the cafes inside of the hub. There's at least 4 or 5 of them put on by our fantastic sponsors for the event. Great coffee experiences that are there, free of charge, obviously, to be able to go off and have a coffee with them. There also are some social activity nights taking place for 5 o'clock, I think it's 5 to 7 on Tuesday and Wednesday for different sponsor activities to, again, social mingle and mix, that sort of stuff. And there's gobs and gobs of different types of sponsor parties and activities taking place. Go talk to them in the booths and find out about them. Lots of ways to connect and places to connect to that are there. And there's one more I wanted to mention. which I forgot, and I completely forgot what I wanted to mention. There was something, so it's going to come back to me. You know what? It's gone. So I think we'll just leave it right with that.
Okay. Yeah, I think just a final closing to remember that the hub does shut down on Thursday night. There are still a bunch of great breakout sessions and content on the Friday morning. So definitely still a lot of technical content happening on the Friday. But if there's anything that you want to do in the hub, any of those sponsors, partners, experiences you want to check out, you need to make sure you get that done by Thursday night. It will not be available on Friday.
You got it. And with that, with less than a minute left, I will say thank you so much for spending an hour with us today.
Wow.
Now, I didn't have time to put in the QR code for the evals, but now that you've been here and potentially been scanned in, you will now have access to an eval for this particular session and all future sessions that you scan into. And as we mentioned at the very beginning, we can't make Microsoft Ignite better. We can't refine the content to make it more of what you want unless you give us constructive feedback on how we can do better.
Does our boss get to see that?
Our boss gets to see it, yes, eventually. So it will get filtered out. But if you're looking for me throughout the event, you can always find me with my green hat. If you're looking for Sonia, just listen for the Australian accent / QB accent, and she'll be around as well.
I'll be at the coffee stand.
But again, thank you so much for coming. We're going to repeat this again in an hour if you really want to come and see us. But thank you so much for being with us.
Have a great event.